Thank you for visiting the Combs Waterkotte YouTube channel. We are a leading criminal defense law firm in Illinois and Missouri, with over 600 perfect reviews and a long history of client satisfaction, criminal case dismissals, charge reductions, and victories. Our firm has created these audio articles to help protect your freedom, reputation, and rights. If we are hired for your case, we will not give up until you receive fair justice. Aggravated Robbery Defense Lawyers in Chicago, Illinois. Facing an aggravated robbery charge in Chicago, Illinois is a serious and intimidating situation. Illinois law treats robbery offenses harshly, especially when a weapon is involved, and the state's strict gun laws can significantly enhance the penalties you face. If a firearm is alleged to have been used, you could be looking at mandatory prison time, steep fines, and life-altering consequences upon conviction. These are not charges you should try to handle on your own. The legal stakes are simply too high. Hiring an experienced aggravated robbery defense attorney as soon as possible is critical to protecting your rights and your future. At Combs Waterkotte, our criminal defense lawyers bring decades of experience to cases just like yours. We understand how Illinois prosecutors build these cases and how to challenge the evidence against you. If you've been charged with aggravated robbery in Chicago, call 312-500-HELP today to begin building a strong strategic defense. Aggravated Robbery Lawyer in Chicago, serving all of Cook County, Illinois. Aggravated robbery charges in Chicago and throughout Cook County carry some of the most severe penalties under Illinois law, particularly when a weapon is involved. Prosecutors often pursue these cases aggressively, and the presence of a firearm can trigger mandatory sentencing enhancements under the state's strict gun laws. That means even a first-time offender could be facing years in prison with limited opportunities for leniency. When so much is at stake, having a skilled criminal defense attorney is not optional. It's essential. At Combs Waterkotte, we understand that every aggravated robbery case has two sides. Allegations can stem from mistaken identity, unreliable witness testimony, or incomplete investigations. Our legal team takes the time to fully examine your case, digging into the details and identifying weaknesses in the prosecution's arguments. We don't take the charges at face value. We challenge them at every turn. When you choose Combs Waterkotte, you get a defense strategy tailored specifically to your circumstances. We thoroughly review evidence, question how it was obtained, and work to suppress anything that may have violated your rights. From negotiating with prosecutors to preparing for trial, we are focused on reducing or dismissing the charges whenever possible. And if your case goes to court, we are ready to advocate aggressively on your behalf. Your future, freedom, and reputation are too important to leave to chance. The sooner you involve an experienced aggravated robbery lawyer, the stronger your defense can be. Contact Combs Waterkotte today at 312-500-HELP or reach out to us online to schedule your free, confidential consultation. We're ready to stand by your side and fight for the best possible outcome in your case. What is aggravated robbery in Chicago, Illinois? To understand aggravated robbery charges in Chicago, Illinois, first, it's important to understand Illinois law's standard robbery statute. Under 720 IILCS 5/18-1, robbery is simply defined as taking someone else's property by force or by using the threat of force. Aggravated robbery, which is actually defined under the same statute, covers instances of more severe theft-related offenses. Specifically, someone can be charged with aggravated robbery under Illinois law when they commit a robbery and indicate that they have a dangerous weapon like a firearm, knife, club, or axe, OR. Drug a victim with a controlled substance, and then rob them. The statute makes it clear that an individual does not actually need to have a dangerous weapon on their person during the offense. An individual in Chicago may be charged with armed robbery simply for making a victim believe that they are armed with a deadly weapon. Aggravated robbery, sentencing in Chicago, Illinois. Aggravated robbery cases in Chicago and Cook County carry severe penalties under Illinois law. The offense is always charged as a felony, and it even fits the parameters for certain enhancements as a forcible felony. According to the Illinois Criminal Code, aggravated robbery is a Class 1 felony offense. Class 1 felonies carry a potential prison sentence between 4 and 15 years. Individuals may face additional prison time for robbing an elderly individual, a person with a physical disability, or committing the offense in a school, daycare, or house of worship. Aside from prison, a conviction for aggravated robbery in Chicago carries possible collateral consequences. Sometimes these consequences are legal. Other times, they affect your personal life. Either way, they can make your life and career much more difficult. Some collateral consequences of an aggravated robbery conviction in Cook County include loss of firearm rights. A felony, aggravated robbery conviction can result in the permanent loss of your right to own or possess firearms under Illinois and federal law, limiting your ability to legally carry, buy, or use weapons. Difficulty finding employment. An aggravated robbery conviction can make it extremely difficult to find or maintain employment, as most employers conduct background checks and may automatically disqualify candidates with violent felony records. Denial of housing applications. Individuals convicted of aggravated robbery often face significant housing barriers, as Chicago landlords frequently deny applicants with violent criminal histories. This can make it harder to secure stable housing or qualify for public or subsidized housing programs. Risk of immigration issues. A conviction for aggravated robbery can trigger serious immigration consequences, including deportation, denial of re-entry into the United States, or loss of lawful immigration status for non-citizens, even in cases involving plea agreements. What to do after an aggravated robbery arrest in Chicago. If you're arrested for aggravated robbery in Chicago, Illinois, what you do in the hours or days after your arrest can have an outsized impact on the consequences of your case. Combs Waterkotte's aggravated robbery attorneys suggest taking the following steps after a robbery arrest in Chicago, Illinois. Remain silent and do not answer questions. After an aggravated robbery arrest in Chicago, law enforcement will aggressively pursue statements they can use against you, especially given the seriousness of a weapon-related allegation. Do not answer questions, explain your side, or try to clear things up. Even minor statements can be misinterpreted or used to strengthen the prosecution's case. Clearly and respectfully invoke your right to remain silent and request an attorney immediately before any questioning continues. Request an attorney immediately. Aggravated robbery is a serious felony in Illinois, often carrying enhanced penalties due to the alleged presence of a weapon. You should request a criminal defense attorney as soon as possible and avoid discussing your case with anyone else. The earlier your lawyer is involved, the sooner they can begin protecting your rights, advising you on next steps, and preventing costly mistakes during questioning or early court proceedings. Avoid discussing the case with anyone. Conversations with friends, family, or cellmates are not protected and can be used as evidence against you. In aggravated robbery cases, prosecutors look for any statements that suggest intent, possession of a weapon, or planning. Avoid discussing the situation with anyone except your attorney. Even well-meaning conversations can be misinterpreted, recorded, or later used to support the prosecution's narrative in court. Preserve any potential evidence. If there is evidence that may support your defense, like alibi information, receipts, phone data, or surveillance footage, make sure it is preserved and given to your attorney as soon as possible. Chicago aggravated robbery cases often rely heavily on timelines and identification. Acting quickly can help prevent valuable evidence from being lost or overwritten. Your attorney can guide you on what to collect and how to ensure it is properly documented and admissible. Do not consent to searches. Chicago police may ask for permission to search your belongings, vehicle, or residence in connection with an alleged weapon. You are not required to consent to searches if they don't have probable cause or a warrant. Politely refuse and allow your attorney to handle any legal challenges to searches conducted without proper warrants. Aggravated robbery cases often hinge on physical evidence, so protecting your rights at this stage can be critical to limiting what prosecutors can use against you later. Act quickly to build your defense. Time is critical after a Chicago aggravated robbery arrest. The prosecution is already working to build a case, gather evidence, and secure witness statements. Acting quickly allows your attorney to investigate, challenge evidence, and identify weaknesses before the case progresses too far. Early intervention can make a substantial difference in the outcome, whether through reduced charges, case dismissal, or a stronger position at trial. Criminal defense strategies against aggravated robbery charges in Chicago. If you're facing aggravated robbery charges, you absolutely need a criminal defense attorney in your corner. At Combs Waterkotte, we've helped defend Chicago residents against robbery charges before, and we've found the following criminal defense strategies to be particularly effective in fighting these charges. Challenging the alleged presence of a weapon. In aggravated robbery cases in Chicago, the prosecution must prove that a weapon was present or implied during the robbery. Your defense may focus on disputing whether a weapon actually existed, or whether the situation reasonably led the alleged victim to believe one was present. Weak or inconsistent testimony can create doubt, potentially reducing the charge to a lesser offense or undermining the prosecution's entire case. Attacking eyewitness identification. Chicago and Cook County aggravated robbery cases often rely heavily on eyewitness identification, which is frequently unreliable under stressful conditions involving alleged weapons. Your attorney may challenge identification procedures, lighting conditions, or inconsistencies in witness descriptions. By exposing flaws in how you were identified, the defense can cast doubt on whether you were the individual involved, potentially weakening the prosecution's case significantly. Suppressing illegally obtained evidence. If Chicago law enforcement violated your constitutional rights while searching for a weapon or collecting evidence, that evidence may be suppressed. This includes unlawful searches of your home, vehicle, or personal belongings without a warrant or valid exception. In aggravated robbery cases, key physical evidence is often central to the prosecution, so excluding it under Fourth Amendment violations can dramatically strengthen your defense. Establishing lack of intent or knowledge. Aggravated robbery requires specific intent, particularly regarding the use or implication of a weapon. A defense strategy may focus on demonstrating that you did not intend to threaten force or were unaware of any weapon allegedly involved. This is especially relevant in situations involving multiple individuals, where one person's actions may be unfairly attributed to another. Presenting an alibi. Providing evidence that you were elsewhere at the time of the alleged robbery offense can be a powerful defense. This may include phone records, receipts, surveillance footage, or witness testimony. In aggravated robbery cases, Where timelines and locations are critical, strong alibi evidence can directly contradict the prosecution's claims and create reasonable doubt for a jury. Challenging allegations of force or threats. Even with a weapon element, Cook County prosecutors must still prove that force, or the threat of force, occurred. Your attorney can examine whether the interaction was mischaracterized, exaggerated, or lacked the level of intimidation required under Illinois law. By breaking down the prosecution's narrative, the defense may show that the facts do not meet the legal threshold for aggravated robbery. Negotiating to reduce charges. Because aggravated robbery in Chicago carries enhanced penalties, a key strategy may involve negotiating with prosecutors to reduce the charge to simple robbery or another lesser offense. This can be particularly effective when the evidence of a weapon is weak or disputed. A strategic approach to negotiation strengthens your position and can lead to significantly reduced penalties and shorter prison sentences, or no prison sentence at all. Combs Waterkotte is a leading criminal defense law firm serving the entire states of Illinois and Missouri. We have offices in St. Louis, Chicago, Kansas City, Clayton, Branson, and Belleville. We look forward to helping you with your criminal defense attorney needs.